welcome to the Slaughterhouse. As far as our opening hand goes, we have one land. So that does not sound, almost click the key button. Let's go ahead and hit mulligan on this one. And that's going to be Canyon with no card draw. Yeah, let's go one more go. And yeah, we'll keep on this one. That's going to be Catacombs, Manicure. Yes, we will keep. We'll put two on the bottom. Let's put Ghoul, Caller, Gissa. And I guess Pawn of Ulamog? Yeah, that's fine. We'll put Pawn. I actually kind of like Mayhem Devil over Pawn of Ulamog. So we're going to click OK on this one. I'm just going to lead off with Catacombs, and let's get this party started. I'm just going to crack Catacombs. Let's grab ourselves a black-red source. Get this popped out. Grab Badlands. Let's go for Mana Crypt. There we go. Let's go for Thrill of Possibility. And I think actually we can just wait on Thrill of Possibility. So, well, just in case they have some sort of counter magic, let's go for Thrill of Possibility. It's going to be 1-2, and then we're going to go and get rid of Carrion Feeder. It's not super important that we have a sack outlet right now. So there we go, run into the Command Tower and Lightning Greaves, which is a nice thing to see. So anything else? No. Very nice turn one. We will pass the turn, but yes, welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Hope you're excited today to go through the haunted house. Tymaret and I have been working very hard to make sure it's very spooky and very scary. And the fact that we have Grand Arbiter Fart Monster trying to get out of the Slaughterhouse today, that makes it even more scarier. So we'll see what sort of fun we can have. So going to choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. That's going to be 0 for 1 on those. Put us down to 26. And look at that beautiful mountain. Let's go and lead off with a Command Tower. Yeah, I like this. So this is going to be Murder King, the Burger King. Let's go for Tymaret. Let's go for 2 off of Mana Crypt. Let's go Lightning Greaves. And let's get make sure Tymaret looks really nice. Get those Greaves on there. And since we are looking at a 2-2 versus a 1-2, we can go and push in. We are not above commander damage in this game. So let's go and swing in. There we go. Coming in hot for 2. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing the Lord of the Slaughterhouse, Tymaret. 2 mana activation, sacrifice another creature. Tymaret's going to deal 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. Then for a 2 mana black activation, sacrifice a creature, return Tymaret from your graveyard to your hand, playing its Grand Arbiter Fart Monster. White spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, blue spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast. Our opponent's going to go for a preordained. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors. TCG Player, if you would like to feed Carnage Gladiator, consider using my TCG link. It costs a lot to make sure that Carnage Gladiator is fat and happy. You know, there's a lot of carnage, a lot of food it likes to consume. And so all you have to do is visit that link or click on the actual deck link down in the description below. That will apply the affiliate link that allow you to get some cards and help support the channel at the same time. So there we go. Let's go and choose Tails on the Mana Crypt. We are 1 for 2 on those. And we don't necessarily need to go for a Bajuka Bog, but I think at this point, yeah, we'll go and go for it, just in case we have something we need to get down extra mana next turn. So let's go Bajuka Bog. We're going to exile our opponent's graveyard, and then we're going to go for Mayhem Devil, and we're going to put the Lightning Greaves onto Mayhem Devil. So that'll work out. Let's tap down from Black-Red, 2 off of Mana Crypt. There we go. Let's get the Greaves shifted over there. We will put it back onto Tymaret because we do want to keep Tymaret protected. But being able to get in for 5, we will definitely take that. So let's go swing across for 5. That's going to knock our opponent down to 23 and tick up that commander damage to 4, which is going to be pretty nice. And then anything else, that'll be it. Let's go and shift the Greaves back over onto the Burger King. And then we will pass the turn. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you'd like to play Magic online, they have a full selection of Magic's history available to you, all from a bot delivery away. It's pretty cool. It's like having somebody deliver cards to you at your local gaming store. And it's always a nice feeling. And also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. I've got my Mad Playmat series over there if you want to check them out. Unfortunately, we do not have the technology to make the playmats kind of flicker like that neon, but we are working with the R&D to maybe one day get that happen. Let's go ahead and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. Lost the flip. I think we're 1 for 3 on those. Let's go lead off with Mountain. And then I guess at this point, we're just going to go and swing across for another 5. Yeah, we're cool with that. Let's go and swing in. It's going to knock them down to 18. And then anything else, pass it back over there. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping spooky score at home, oh yeah, look at this. Getting the Mayhem Devil trigger off that clue token. Oh, that is beautiful. But yes, if you're keeping spooky score at home, it is officially free time. Let's have some fun. Man, that feels good to say that. So, where have I been? I took a 2-month break from Magic. I've been kind of, and to be perfectly honest, giving you 100% heads up. This is the first game that I've played since like August 15th. Like legit. I have not logged into Magic Online for the last 2 months. I logged in earlier this week. I have no clue what is in the new Zendikar set. There's just a lot of live stuff going on. And unfortunately, the kind of channel stuff, Magic kind of just coincided in one big car wreck in my head. And I was just like, I just need a break. But I'm happy to be back because I'm excited to start recording. I've done a lot of cool video editing. Let's go and choose tails on this one. Lost the flip. I think we're one for oh yeah, Blood Artist. So we're looking at a pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. So let's get Blood Artist down. That's going to be 1-2 because we've got some options to. We got to pay the extra. Let's do it this way. It'll be a little bit easier. Let's tap down black and then double off of Mana Crypt. Now, if we do end up going for Damnation, we're going to have to do that next turn, but that's at least going to cash in a pretty good board state for us. Let's go and push in with Mayhem Devil. And I guess, no, target player or planeswalker. Yeah, so that's not going to work. So we're going to go and push in for 3. I'm just going to knock them down to 14. Now, if we do end up going for Damnation next turn, that's going to be at least be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be 5 total Blood Artist triggers. So that might be something we want to do. And then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. But yeah, it took a 2-month break. It was... had a couple different things kind of go on in life. If you don't know, I had a daughter coming up on 1 year at the end of November on Thanksgiving. So, it's been not necessarily challenging, but you do have to adjust your schedule once you have a baby in your life, and I love her very much. And but yeah, I'll be posting more pictures as videos go on. I just kind of wanted to get back into the the flow of things like that. And the other thing is that if you didn't see my post, my mother-in-law, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and so that's kind of been a kind of a little bit of a hard diagnosis for the family, to be perfectly honest. That kind of led to my break. So. I needed to work on a lot of channel stuff. And actually, let me explain this in a second. So let's go for this Mana Crypt trigger. We're going to choose tails on this one. Lost the flip. I think we're 1 for 5 on those. And then we run into Phyrexian Tower. Okay. So they do have 3 mana up. We could watch out for a board wipe. And we're looking at a Skull Clamp with them cashing in 2 card draw. So we've got Burger King. We can go for some activations. We've got Damnation. We can sacrifice a creature with Phyrexian Tower. And that would actually be a pretty good option to give us a little bit of extra mana. Yeah, let's go and push in for 3, because at the very least, we can just sacrifice Mayhem Devil. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go and push in for 3. Let's see if they end up going for that Thraben Inspector block. Either way, we're going to be able to get rid of that. That's going to give them some card draw and give us an extra Blood Artist trigger. So I think we're actually okay with that. So let's go for the Blood Artist trigger. That's going to put them down to 13, and that will give them 2 card draw. It's going to put us up to 15 and them down to 13. So now we're looking at Damnation. That's going to be Damnation for 4 Blood Artist triggers. It's going to put them down to 9. Worst case scenario would just kind of sack the board out. We could sacrifice Blood Artist to get a little bit extra damage. Yeah, I think at this point, let's just go and pass the turn. Let's kind of see what they get down next turn. If they get down any more creatures, we got Damnation to cash in a little bit of extra Blood Artist triggers. But I think at this point, I kind of like chipping away at their life total. But yeah, so my mother-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. So that was, it was a pretty hard diagnosis. And one of the things that I've always loved about my channel is that it's always been an escape. So it's a way for me to get away from the real world, play Magic, and tell a fun story. And so leading up to me taking that 2-month break, there was just a lot of back-end channel stuff I wasn't happy with. It was taking too long to do certain things. The other thing is I really enjoy video editing, adding effects to different things. Like you may have noticed the ad inserts, simply just being able to learn that skill set of deeper video animation that really opened up a lot of creative possibilities for me. So that's kind of been a good way that I've been dealing with the sad news, is that I'm kind of building this environment around my channel where I can just kind of pour my heart and soul into it, and that way kind of not necessarily be escape like I'm escaping from the real world, but it just gives you that creative outlet. And I have a better creative outlet now with my channel. So I'm really excited to kind of share stuff with you as time goes on. So let's go and choose tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. We're probably looking at another Skull Clamp. I think we're okay with this one. Now, see what we rip into. Draw into a Swamp. So let's go and play Swamp. Yeah, at this point, I think we just go and swing across the board on this one. Now, if we do end up swinging with the Burger King, They can trade with Grand Arbiter Fart Monster, but I think we're okay with this. So let's go and swing in. That's going to be 5, because if they take the hit, that's going to put them down to 8, and that's going to be Grand Arbiter Fart Monster going back to the command zone. So I think I kind of like this. We haven't seen a ton of action from our opponent, but we've been able to just kind of keep the pressure out. That's one of the fun things about playing Tymaret the Murder King is you always have that 2-man activation to send a couple damage up top. So it looks like our opponent's going to take it. It's going to put them down to 8. So we sacrifice Mayhem Devil. That's going to put them down to 6. Blood Artist is going to put them down to 5. Sacrifice Blood Artist is going to put them down to 3. And that's going to put them down to 2. If we go for a Blood Artist trigger right now, man, we might have it. But at least we can wait and do something in response to that. So let's do this. Let's just go and pass the turn. They took that hit. It's going to put them down to 8. If they do end up having a board wipe or something like that, we can always sacrifice in response to that to kind of get a little bit of extra damage. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Yeah, sure. Go for it. It's going to get rid of Lightning Greaves. I mean, we've gotten our use out of it, and then anything else pass the turn over there. But yeah, you know, I think that was a big struggle for me for a long time with my channels. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you may have noticed that I've started multiple non-gameplay stuff and just never really kept with it because I just didn't have that quality level that I wanted to maintain. And so now that I'm able to do that, it's just creatively, it feels really good. And to be honest, it feels really good to be back. I kind of miss Magic. So, all right, so our opponent is going to let, I think in this one, we just kind of muddied the board up and swing in with Murder King and Mayhem Devil. And I think that'll push us over the edge. So let's go and choose Tails on this one. Won the flip. And then we run into Crypt Breaker. So, yeah, that's going to be good. So let's go for Crypt Breaker. That's going to give us a little bit of extra red mana. We're looking at 3 activations. Yeah, that's going to be good. We'll tap down Bojuka Bog. That way we have enough colorless mana for the Murder King activation. Let's go and swing in for 5. Yeah, that'll be good. So we're going to swing in, and not going to let Blood Artist swing in. We definitely want to hold Blood Artist back. So swing in for 5. Let's see if they take any of this damage. We've got it on this one. So, all right, they're going to block on Mayhem Devil. And just so they didn't get card draw, let's do this. So let's go and sacrifice another creature. We're going to target our opponent. We're going to pay 1 red and tap down on, I think at this point, just Phyrexian Tower. Yeah, that's going to be the better option. So we're going to tap down for 1. We're going to sacrifice Mayhem Devil. It's going to be a Blood Artist trigger. That's going to be 2 damage up top. That's going to put them down to 6. There we go. Put them down to 4. And then we got it. We sacked 2 more out and we've got the game. So let's go ahead and go for that. There we go. Not the most exciting game, but let's go ahead and target our opponent. Let's go and sacrifice. Oh yeah, look at this. It's going to be 1/2 off of Mana Crypt. Sacrifice Crypt Breaker. Get that Blood Artist trigger. Oh, absolutely beautiful. There we go. Looks like Grand Arbiter Fart Monster did not survive the Slaughterhouse. But yeah, we'll see if we can't jam another game real quick. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, no reason to ship this one back. We've got some good. We need a little bit of card draw, but with having 2 lands, a little bit of a payoff card in Proforos, and a little bit of spot removal with the Braid, we will certainly keep on this one. But yes, welcome to the Slaughterhouse. Hopefully you're excited to try and survive the Tymaret murder experience. It's always a lot of fun. A lot of people leave a 5-star review if they get out. Let's go ahead and crack a Bloodstained Mire. Let's go ahead and grab Canyon Slow. I think that's the one that comes into play tap. Let's see. Yes, that is it. So let's grab Canyon Slow, and then anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. We're playing Tymaret, the Murder King. 2-mana activation, sacrifice another creature, deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. Sacrifice a creature, return Tymaret from your graveyard to your hand. There we go. I'm going to grab a Swamp. Let's go for a Braid. We definitely want to get rid of Elves, so let's go for Swamp. Let's go for a Braid on Elves. Just kind of want to keep this game on the same mana level, so anything else, pass it back over there. Playing against Anafenza, the Foremost. Whenever Anafenza attacks, I'll try to remember a story to tell about Anafenza. Whenever Anafenza attacks, put a +1 counter on another target tap creature you control. If a non-token creature an opponent owns would die, or a creature card not on the battlefield will be put into an opponent's graveyard, exile that creature instead. So let's go ahead and go for, we're looking at Burger King and Tenacious Deed. I kind of like that. Let's do that. We're going to pay 2 life. Let's go for Burger King. There we go. It's going to be red and a black, and let's go for Tenacious Deed. There we go. All right, anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you would like to help contribute to the Hunger Fund for Carnage Gladiator, please consider using that TCG link. It'll help you get some cards and help support the channel at the same time, so we both win and Carnage Gladiator wins, so that's always a nice feeling. Opponent's going to go for Wingmare, which is going to be non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. So actually doing okay on this. We got some pretty good options. So I think at this point, so we can't go for Buried Alive, can't go Sifter of Skulls. Basically, we're just looking at Squee. And that's not first strike. So let's do this. Let's just go and push in for 3, and let's see if our opponent wants to trade. We'd definitely be happy to make that trade. And if not, we might be able to jam a Buried Alive, if that's something they want to stick. So I'm just going to swing across for 3. It's going to put them down to 27. And then we're going to go for Squee, get all Gerblin on the battlefield, and that way we can have some fun sacrificing it and recasting it. So there we go. It's also going to be able to dodge Anafenza. So there we go. We got the Squee tech for Tymaret. So anything else is going to pass the turn over to our opponent. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you would like to play Magic Online, MTGOTraders are your #1 spot to get some cards, and their bots will hand deliver the cards to you. It's like having a personal butler at a local gaming store, so it's pretty cool. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you want to check out some of my Mad Neon Playmat series, got some over there. All you got to do is search Jolt 539 or Mad Mats. We don't have the technology to make them flicker like that yet, but we are working with the Inked Gaming R&D right now to make sure that can happen. And last but not least, I started a Patreon, so if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping Halloween spooky score at home, it's officially free time. Let's have some fun. One thing that we would definitely like to see is either a 4th land or some sort of board wipe. Even if we do run into Toxic Deluge, it's not going to help us out a ton right now, simply because we got to get around that Wingmare. Having that little extra taxing effect is not going to help us out. So, but we can not really swing into Anafenza because that would not be good. All right, so we run into Thrill of Possibility. Yeah, I think we just go and jam this now because we definitely want to try and make the land drop for the turn. That's not going to be that good. So let's go ahead and get rid of, I think at this point, just so we can have more bodies on the battlefield. Yeah, we're kind of at a weird spot because we definitely would hold on to Proferos. The main thing is, yeah, I guess we can just get rid of Buried Alive. I feel like that's going to be a better option, especially if we can't get rid of Wingmare. It's going to allow us to at least get down. Oh, there we go. Run into a few more lands. It's going for Cliffs. We're going to have that come into play tapped, and then anything else, we're simply just going to go and pass the turn. So we might, if we run into some fast mana, we might be able to kind of slaughterhouse our way out of this one, going for activations. It's a little far away at this point, but if we can get down Kalitas, if we can get down Sifter of Skulls, that's going to give us a lot of extra creatures. In fact, I think if we go for Sifter of Skulls next turn, and then we start sacrificing these creatures, that's going to give us the necessary fodder to kind of send that damage up top to our opponent. But yes, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't been subscribed for a long time, this is Fright Fest. This is my week of Halloween decks that I absolutely love. I love Halloween. Outside of Thanksgiving, Halloween's my favorite holiday. As a little kid, it was like I would start planning in September what mask I was going to go buy at the store, and it had to be this like creepy mask. And I remember in 1st grade, I went as like a werewolf, and I remember Mom helped me put fake blood on my shirt as a 1st grader, and I was like really into that. So it kind of makes sense that we're having a lot of fun with Halloween. But yes, it's always my favorite time of the year. My wife and I, we've been watching all the old Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween movies. They just run on AMC all the time, so we've been watching those. We watched 1, 2. We haven't watched 3 because I don't think it's on YouTube TV. And then we watched 1, 2, 4, 5. So there's the Anguish Unmaking on, that's a bummer. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. All right, so it's going to be Burger King. Yes, we're going to return that back to the command zone, and then let's get that pop back up and then pass it back over there. But yes, so we watched 4 and 5, and then they do have the, I don't think, well, yeah, we can't block on the flying creature, and we definitely don't really want to do anything with Anafenza. Yeah, we're just going to let this go on through. So it's going to be 7. We may not be long for this video, so we'll see what's going to happen. But we'll talk about Halloween here in just a second. So it's going to lead off with Arid Mesa. Now, if we're going to be doing setting up, we almost need to go Proferos first and then go for Sifter of Skulls. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best bet. So let's do that. So let's go for Proferos. We're actually kind of close to Red Devotion. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and that'll be 4 with Tymaret. We need to get one more red source on the battlefield, but if that does happen, that would really help out. I think we're still going to take a hit either way. But yeah, they're going to be able to block with Druid on either of our creatures. So let's just do this. Let's just go and pass the turn. And we'll see if we can't set up a really explosive turn. That's one of the fun things about this deck is, you know, let's say we have Tymaret on the battlefield. We start sacrificing our creatures. We have Sifter of Skulls out there. That's going to be extra Profrost triggers when those creatures enter the battlefield. So even if we don't win, hopefully we can showcase some cool interactions. So, but yeah, so back to Halloween. So they do have the... So after 5, they go to Halloween H2O, which is like 1998. That one's pretty decent. It has Jamie. I think at this point we just really like the Halloween series that actually have Jamie Lee Curtis in it. You know, the ones I think 3, 4, and 5 don't have her in there, or she's in there for a very small second. But Halloween H2O, she is in there. But with the Halloween Resurrection. Boy, that one was bad. Busta Rhymes is in there. We watched it the whole time. I'm just like thumbs. I was like, man, this is bad. So they kind of did like the Michael Myers thing. They set up this like you know, this is the early 2000s, and so they set up this fake Halloween reality show inside the Michael Myers house, and I don't know. It was just a little too cheesy for me. And it was kind of shot with the Blair Witch Project style effect where it's just like almost kind of like Resident Evil, where you just have the stationary, that's going to be Magistrate that came down, can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. Well, does that stop the commander? I don't think so. We'll see. That might. All right, so opponent's going to swing in for 3. But yeah, anyway, so the Halloween Resurrection, I would definitely skip that one if we're going to be watching some Halloween movies. It was, I don't, it was just cheesy and goofy and I don't know, it's just very 90s. I did not enjoy it. So let's go to Crack Arid Mesa. But they did have the... Let's grab Smoldering Marsh. We'll have that come into play tapped and then pass the turn. So Rob Zombie, he picked up Halloween in the late 2000s, like 2005, 2008, or 9. And I don't know, it just... Ooh, so we run into Go for the Throat. Okay, so we're dead next turn with them swinging in. Let's go for Swamp. So at this point, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We can pop Anafenza. That does give us the opportunity to at least kind of stop the bleeding and still have Sifter of Skulls. Yeah, so even if we do that, so we're going to have a 4/3 of Sifter of Skulls. We can trade on one of their creatures. We have to stop the flying. So if we go for Kali Test, that's still going to keep us off the mana that we need. So we can go Tymaret, that's going to be 4. Yeah, that's still going to cut us off either way. So I guess we just end up going, because we need to stop that 4 in the air. So we're going to end up going for Go for the Throat. That's going to be 1, 2. Yeah, I'd love to get some sort of value, but, well, actually, we can do it like this. But let's do this. So let's go for Kali Test. That's going to be 1, 2. Because we can at least trade. We can throw one creature in front of Anafenza. It's going to get exiled either way, and then we can kind of stop that. That's going to be 2 damage up top to our opponent. Let's click OK on that. And then hopefully next turn, maybe we can sequence something with Go for the Throat. So it's going to put them down to 21, and then anything else past the turn over there. Now they did, for the 40th anniversary of Halloween, they did reboot Halloween in 2018. In fact, my wife and I went to go see it at Alamo Draft House, and that was really good. You know, one of the things I think I really enjoy about Halloween, the series, is that it's just, I don't know, it's not overly gory, it's not overly scary, and it just kind of has this perfect, especially like Halloween 1 and 2, it just has this wonderful 70s, 80s horror vibe, which I'm just absolutely in love with. And 2018 one was good, you know, if it's kind of like you came to the movie expecting some Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's in that movie, the full movie, and Court of Calling for 4, so let's see what that's going to be. And then, yes, I was talking about earlier with, you know, I hadn't played Magic in like 2 months. I kind of stopped with Layer of Behemoth, but with, oh, that's going to be another flying threat in there. That's going to be 6. I think we're still doing okay, because we can block on one creature on the ground. But yeah, that will stop us for going from Murder King with Magistrate. So, but yeah, it's been a solid 2 months since I've played Magic. So I'm still getting back into it as far as kind of keeping these interactions in the front of my head. So it's going to be a +1 counter on the flying creature. It's going to be 5 in the air. That's going to put us down to 4. I think at this point, what we'll probably end up doing is throwing... So if we put Squee in front of Anafenza... We're going to be able to recast it if we need to. So let's do that. It's going to be 5 in the air. Put us down to 4. We can still recast Squee. And that's still going to give us access to go for the throat next turn. Might be able to do something with that. We'll kind of see. Ooh, Gray Merchant. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we end up going for go for the throat on Wingmare. That's going to cut us off the blockers. We throw Tenacious Deed in front of that. That's still going to be NIP 4 coming across, but we can still not blocking on one of the creatures. Yeah, because either way, we're going to have to go for it now, and I'd hate for our opponent to have something like Heroic Intervention. So let's go for the throat on Wingmare, and I think we're still going to be able to get it, because it's going to be 2 in the air. That's going to put us down to 2. And then we still have access to 2 blockers. We do have to throw Tenacious... Actually, excuse me, we're going to get another zombie with Kalita. So actually, we'll be okay on this one. So, anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. But yeah, so the 2018 Halloween movie, definitely highly recommend it. It's cheesy, but it's good. And then I did see that in like 2021... or, you know, with COVID and everything, I don't know when it's going to release, but at least there's going to be, I think, maybe 1 or 2 more in the Halloween installment. So I'm very excited about that. Other than that, we've been watching Halloween. I watched a little bit of The Nightmare on Elm Street. Some of these movies I watch late at night, so I fall asleep, especially on the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. But at least on Halloween, I've watched enough of those to kind of know what's going on. All right, so we got the entire crew swing in. And actually, excuse me, they may get it. That's going to be 3. Oh, we'll see. Yeah, because we've got enough block. We're going to have to block across the board. So let's do this. So let's go Kalitas on Magistrate. We're going to go Zombie Token on Druid. And then do like that. Click OK. And then we got Gray Merchant next turn. I think that'll be a little decent. All right, there we go. It's going to put us up to 4. That's going to exile 2 cards. We get a few extra zombies, which is very nice. And once we plop down this Gray Merchant, that... Ooh, run into Soul Ring, too. All right, so let's go Soul Ring. Oh, and excuse me, the Gray Merchant with Hushwing out there, that's going to stop us. So let's go for Soul Ring. That's a major bummer. And then they got Aura of Silence. So yeah, it looks like... Actually, no, we're going to be able to dodge. So I guess at this point, if we end up going for Sifter of Skulls... we can finally end up going for Tymaret. Actually, that might be a better option. So let's go for Tymaret. It's going to be 1, 2... That's going to give us the option to start dealing some damage. Yeah, I think I like that. All right, so we're going to go for Tymaret. I think at this point, we're actually going to be able to start swinging in with Kalitas and gain a little bit extra life. So let's go and swing in with Kalitas. At this point, what we'll probably do is swing in with 2 zombies. They've only got 1 card left. Yeah, I feel that, yeah, that's going to be good, because if they have spot removal, then at least we could swing with an extra one, but we don't want to be super crazy with that. There we go. All right, put them down to 13. It's going to put us back up to 7, and then anything else, pass it back over to our opponent. So, but yes, we're going to be missing out on the Profrost triggers with Hushwing out there, so we need to find some sort of answer for Hushwing, because that is really cutting us off the enter the battlefield effects, which is very important for this deck. You can imagine if we had these extra zombies coming down with Profrost active, that would be a pretty good feeling. All right, so we've got Reclamation Sage entering the battlefield on Indestructible, nothing, so that's going to be pretty good. That's going to be Hushwing swinging across. It's going to put us back down to 4. And so at this point, what we really want to see would be a board wipe. That would probably help us out. At the very least, at least we do have some Burger King activations to go for. So, ooh, run into Ancient Tomb. Okay, so before we go for Gray Merchant, we need to have something to show for it. So let's go for Sifter of Skulls. It's going to be 1, 2. If we end up going Soul Ring, it's just going to cost extra mana, and that's exactly what they're going to pop off of that. So let's go for Sifter of Skulls. It's going to be a 4-3. The good thing about this being a 4-3 is that we're going to be able to trade with Anafenza, and we can't cast Squee just yet. I don't think we want to do that. So let's see. So we're looking at a 4-4 and a bunch of... I think we still swing in with Kalitas to get that extra life gain. Is that what we want to do? That's going to put us down to 1. We'll still make the land drop. Let's get down Ancient Tomb. And that keeps us open on a Burger King activation for 2 damage. And I guess that does put us on a Profrost activation, get +1 until end of turn. I feel like we almost need to wait for that for next turn. Or maybe if we're going to end up blocking with Anafenza. because that'll give us an extra zombie. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just wait on this one, because we're going to be able to make some pretty good trades on this. That's going to be them going, yeah, because if we tap out Ancient Tomb, that's going to kill us with Hushwing. So I think it's going to be better if we wait. So anything else, we will pass the turn over to our opponent. Now, we might, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got 3 activations. That's going to put them down to 7. And that's really going to allow us to potentially kind of grind this out if we go in for a swing. I mean, we're kind of in this weird spot to where if we do swing it with a lot of zombies, we go for Profros activation. That's going to be a lot of +1. That's going to be a lot of trading. It's going to be a lot of zombies on the battlefield. The only downside is we have no way to stop the flying threat in the air, because we're going to be able to compete with all these elves out here. So we'll see what else is going to happen. Yeah, because swinging for 3, that's going to put us down to 1. And they've got only 3 creatures that can swing in and attack. So we could. Oh, and excuse me. Yeah, they're going to be able to go for the plus counter on Hushwing Griff. Okay, so they're going to be able to get it on that one. I think. I don't know how lifelink damage works with that. We'll just put it on there. I think it happens at the same time. Let's see. All right, so we'll put it on there. Oh, there we go. It happens. All right, so it's going to be able to fog us out on that. Okay, perfect. All right, so it's going to put us back up to 3. And we make that trade. Yeah, I couldn't remember if that worked that way. I was thinking it did, and that is a very nice effect. So, see what we draw into. This is going to be Worn Power Stone. So either way, we are definitely dead next turn. They've got Gray Merchant. We swing in. We're going to be able to make trades on 2 of those. I think we've got to push in on this one. So let's do that. Let's go and swing with the entire crew, because we might be able to go for Profros activations. Yeah, I like this. We're going to swing in with the entire crew. That's going to be 8 coming across in zombies. So we're going to see 3 of those blocks. So we should probably see one of the creatures block on Sifter of Skulls. And so that's going to be 2, 4, 6. That's going to put them down to 7. Now, if we end up going for the Profros activation, that's going to be +1. That's going to be 3, 3. That's going to be 6. It's going to put them down to 7. I think we've got this. I might be wrong on this one, but we're going to try this. So we're going to go for the Profros activation. That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to give our creatures +1 until end of turn. That's going to allow those zombies to swing in. That's going to be a 5, 3. Let's go for a Tymaret activation. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice. We're going to target our opponent. And we're going to pay red and a black. And then we sacrifice. Let's put them down to 11. It's going to put them down to 5. Yeah, I think either way we do it, we're still down to 1. Yeah, unfortunately, they're going to get it on this one. So, because I think either way, no matter how we sequence it, I think we get them down to exactly 0. So let's do this. Let's go and sacrifice another creature. Like I said, I've not played Magic in a good minute, and maybe we could have squeezed this one out. But good game to our opponent on this one. Had to go into Think Tank on that one. There's a lot of different variables as far as sacrificing creatures or pumping up Profros, but I think no matter how I tried to figure it out in my head, I think they were going to be able to get it on this one. So, but it was a close game, and that's what makes the Murder House so much fun. So it looks like Anafenza is going to be able to escape the house this time. So there we go. Opponent's going to put us down to -9. That was a good game. Like I said, if I missed the win, I hadn't played in 2 months, so let me know. Tactfully, please, if you don't mind. And happy Halloween. All right, bye.